Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to episode 121 of DevChatter. It's a pretty warm Tuesday here, and I don't know, hopefully it's nice wherever all of you are. It's pretty nice here. Greetings, I see a lot of people saying hi in chat. You'll notice that I am not standing in front of Visual Studio right now. I'm instead in, the science lab or whatever this is behind me. I have no idea. And I actually have a person right next to me, right over there. That guy's name, there's a label below it. His name is Jon, and if you didn't figure it out, my name is Brendan. And hi everyone, I will let Jon tell you a little bit about himself, and then we will start talking about stuff. Go ahead, Jon.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Hello everybody. My name is Jon Knapp. I live around the Akron area, own a company called Coffee and Code. Have been doing consulting dev work for about 14 years through that company. Also am one of the organizers for an event up in Cleveland, if you're local, called Cleveland Give Camp, where we get to hack out a bunch of interesting websites for people over the weekend once a year. We get about 200 volunteers and we work on nonprofit websites. And yeah, thank you very much for having me. Brendan is one of the people who I spam continuously until he says yes to attend the event each year because of his.
He's telling the truth. That's actually how we know each other. We both work on that same charity event. Jon, are you technically my team lead on that? Is that the deal on that one then?
Yeah, we're more of a flat hierarchy. I'd say we're peers. Yeah.
No, Will, I did not. I'm not up at NASA Glen or anything like that. Apparently, people think I'm at Space Command. Oh, Will, it's raining where you are. Well, that's not as fun. I don't use his name until he proves himself.
Understandable. Mm-hmm.
That's fair. Okay, so speaking of which, you guys may have noticed that in addition to being at Space Command instead of standing in front of Visual Studio, and having Jon next to me over there, that there's another thing that's like kind of above our heads right here, and that is a topic of discussion. Yeah, we're gonna hold that up the whole time, so we're gonna see how long whichever one of us lets go of the label first, that person loses. So dang it, I lost. Anyway, okay, so anyway, so we brought Jon on here, and Jon. What you know more about JavaScript than I do, would be my guess.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
So both of us use JavaScript on a frequent basis. Jon, why don't you tell us what server-side languages do you use?
Have I used or am I currently using?
Currently using.
Currently using. So Ruby, Rails, Node, and those are current projects. Yeah, but have worked in, I've done .NET, done PHP, done Python, Django, and I think that's a good collection of stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, basically what that means is Jon's one of those guys that'll probably work on like any various thing. So.
Yeah, well, maybe I don't necessarily ask for those situations. Sometimes they just find you.
Yes. Wait, are you talking about PHP projects now?
I mean, I'm not gonna list. I'm not gonna list any languages. It's just some of them are not current.
Yeah. No, I was just kidding.
Currently worked.
I got to bash one. One of the things I actually point out on the stream all the time is that while there are a lot of differences in languages, and we can say like I like this language better than this other one, there is something to be said for there's a right time to use any like certain languages at certain times, and sometimes that language it's right to use it because, well, the company that I'm working for, has existing infrastructure in this language. Yeah. I should be building stuff that they can keep maintaining, as long as it's not like something where you can hardly find developers to maintain it in the future. That's another story.
Yeah, I like some of those languages too, but I usually don't deploy solutions in those unless they can kind of stand up on their own a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. PHP stands for People Hate PHP, right?
It's an acronym.
Yes.
Recursive.
Yeah. Recursive acronyms are always ridiculous. Anyway, so we are here to talk about JavaScript frameworks, and specifically, I want to try and figure out, like, So you're watching the stream, right?
Me currently?
Yeah, you have it up somewhere. You can see the stream.
I have a bunch of chat messages. I think I took the stream down, but I can bring it up.
let's make sure you can see it so that you can like.
I just feel like the label is right there. So
yeah, it's not. Well, I guess it's on this side for me. Which direction? Point to me. Yeah, good try. That was cheating. That was cheating. As far as they're concerned, you're over there.
All right,
good luck.
Here.
There's only two options.
And we gotta mute this thing too.
Yeah, if you bring up the stream, make sure to mute it. Otherwise, it'll get weird.
Loading. I'm gonna guess I'm gonna get an ad. Maybe no. People. Sweet. All right, we're good.
Will's calling me out on showing you up because you don't know which direction I am. So seriously, actually, some people recommend for like streaming that you like put eyeballs on your webcam to remind you that when you want to look at your audience, they're that way. And then I also happen to know I'm usually in that corner, so like everything else is this way.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to see where my hand shows up. I'm giving it a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's not the side I'm on.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
Yeah, see, I'm over there. Hi. How's it going? It's good to see you, buddy.
You Greetings. Too, man.
Hey, it's nice to have you over here on the stream.
Just hanging out, talking about stuff.
Okay, Stoolfender did a hilarious thing, and he's right. I technically could. I could have, like, when you got to that point, been, like, editing your feed and flipped you, so you'd turn the other way.
Nice. Yes, this is what this stream is, right? It's called trolling.
Yes, exactly. No,
trolling for programmers.
Hey, it's called DevChatter, which, to be fair, chatting about stuff should always be allowed.
Agreed.
Okay, so the thing that we wanted to talk about, and here's why I wanted to bring up the stream, is I actually want to show you where the web page lives. Can you let me know when you can see what's happening on the video feed, because you're probably at a little bit of a delay.
Sure.
You'll notice something happen on the stream.
Oh, a lot of hype.
Yeah, see that?
Okay.
So, and like various other stuff we do on there, and specifically we want to start like setting labels based on the bot. So I might want to do something like this. This is the new topic, right? And so I could type a command like topic, this is the new topic, and that would set the topic for the stream, or other things like that, where we can make changes to what's going to show up on that page. And yes, there is a web page that is transparent background over top of the stream. Does that make sense?
Interesting. Yeah.
So that's the basic concept, and I could show you the code for that, or we can just talk in general about. So the idea being here, I can do the communication between the web and the server already. That's how I'm able to type a message into chat and have that stuff happen on, a web page, basically, right?
Yeah.
So like that's easy. That's all wired up with SignalR. I don't know if you know SignalR, but it's basically, you do know it?
No, I do not.
Okay.
But I believe I've heard of it before.
Yeah, so it's basically just a library for connecting over a transport. So in this case, it uses WebSockets, so it's just persistent communication between JavaScript and a web page. Technically not just JavaScript, there's clients for various languages, but yeah, that's the idea. So it lets us push from the server down to JavaScript.
Cool. And we have just like a small vanilla JS kind of kickoff of the library?
Yeah, so right now we just use it is basically vanilla JS. Technically, we have jQuery on the page, but we're not using it for anything. It's just there. I'll bring it up on the stream so we can take a look at that.
Cool.
So you'll see the view change in a second. And I will bring up the page that we are looking at. Not that we need to make any changes on this right now, but and when I say we haven't pulled in libraries, I mean we're like, this is vanilla JS right now.
Yeah.
So
remember when that's all websites were, and you could sleep well at night?
no, I could not sleep well at night in the 90s. I was a kid.
I did.
Don't sleep.
I played a lot of video games. And...
Oh, well, yeah, that's fair too. So this is literally what we have in here. Ignore the fact that I hard-coded that for now.
No problem.
So you'll see this at a delay unless I share my screen with you, which maybe I'll do for now. Viable clan members. CSHTML is just a Razor file. So essentially that means I have C# and HTML in the same file.
Okay, cool. Does it do any magic with your stuff, or does it basically just tie them together so it knows where assets are at?
Wait, I shared the wrong screen, I think? That was the wrong screen. Let me try the correct one. We want that one. There we go. Yeah, there was a whole you were only on there for a short time.
I just missed it.
Giant John, yeah. No, yeah, so viable clan member. It's Razor's actually fairly clean, so it's not quite as bad. So it's not bad.
Cool.
So this is basically what we set up right now is Wheatlow, you don't like anything though. You hate all the things. So we're including SignalR. We have Chart.js to do a bit of charting stuff, and that's about it. We have some JS files that are our own.
Okay.
And there it is. And then we're including awesome notifications, jQuery, and Bootstrap. And again, jQuery and Bootstrap just come in automatically whenever you do anything ASP.NET, basically at all. They just shove them in, and if you don't want them, you just get rid of them.
Sure, cool.
Okay, cool. So that's what we've got. So we need to then figure out which JavaScript framework we want to use. Because it would be nice to do some binding of various elements. Things like, in that section below me on the screen over there, if you're looking at the feed, right over there below the screen, it's that big area that we can do a bunch of stuff with. And right below you on the screen is also some space that we can do stuff with.
Mm-hmm.
And then the entire rest of the screen, we're already doing a little bit. So it would be nice to do something. Copious, we're not using Knockout.
Was that just a straight statement? Or were you saying that we're currently not using Knockout?
No. I was just making the point that was not the point. Wait, Copious, are you saying it was rude to suggest, or that I was rude for pointing out that we're not using it? Stoolpinner, we are also not creating our own framework.
JS2.js.
Though if we did our own framework, we could do the DevChatter.js, and hey, at least we would have content to work on for the next 10 years, you know?
That's true. Well, it would get probably replaced next week, but...
Well, yeah, but you keep maintaining it even though it's dead. That's how it works.
Perfect.
I mean, keep in mind that... I mean, think about all the frameworks that you used to use, 10 years ago that are still getting maintained.
Yeah, that's true.
I cite jQuery.
I like jQuery. I like it.
I love jQuery. It is the thing... jQuery is the framework that made me okay with using JavaScript again.
Yeah, it helps fix the web.
Yeah. Because it made working with the DOM not so bad. That is actually, to be fair, the worst thing about JavaScript always was working with the DOM. And it made it not so bad.
Yeah, agreed. And it still is. You just have a lot of options to hide it from you.
Yes. And yeah, Bokyo, you could be right. WebAssembly could change a lot of that. Okay, so talking about these JavaScript frameworks, I guess where do you want to start? Got any preference on which one we talk about first? So to be clear, the ones that we're talking about, and we're going to look at and see what they do and how they work. We're going to look at Vue, React, and Angular are going to be the three that we want to talk about and look at. So if you guys have opinions on those, feel free to, chime in. So, John, preferences?
Start off on Angular. Let's say we
start off on Angular.
There.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we'll look at this one. If he starts with Angular, I can use his name. Oh, there you go. Well, he wanted to start with Angular, so.
I now have a name. I have a name privilege.
No one wants to vote. I don't understand why no one is voting.
Do you have does your bot do votes?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
You set up the thing, but no one voted.
Uh-oh.
Because they keep trying to vote for the word instead of the number. See?
Well, you got to add some functionality. Is that vote your stuff, or is that a
yeah, that's
Twitch
that's
thing?
one of ours. So.
Oh, you get little like pop-up notifications and stuff.
Yeah, see?
Look at this fancy.
Yeah, that's the stuff we're doing. And see, then there's more pop-ups. So we have all kinds of stuff that happens on top of the screen. Some of it's ours, some of it isn't. So
that's not you. That's not you putting yourself walking off a cliff.
Actually, that is me. You did know that was me, right?
Oh, I did.
Okay. Do you know where that cliff is?
I don't know that though.
Okay. I'll give you a hint. The cliff exists. That's not its skyline.
Oh, interesting.
That cliff's in the national park, like right here.
I hope the drop-off wasn't that far either. It looked like it was pretty scary.
Actually, that is a drop that would probably kill you if you fell off.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope nobody tried it.
No. And you'll notice that Caitlin was standing right behind me in that picture, and only at one point while I was standing on the cliff edge did she touch my back. And it wasn't to shove me off the edge, so that was good.
That would be intense.
Yeah.
Look at these votes.
Yeah, so a bunch of votes have actually come in now. Looks like React is actually in the lead. But either way, I didn't really specify what that vote was for. It was just kind of to do it, because why not?
Congratulations, everybody.
So everybody's heard of Angular. Everybody knows that one. It was big and popular for a good long time. I noticed we didn't even put Aurelia on the list. Sorry, Aurelia.
Yeah, there's a lot of options, to be fair. Yeah, lots and lots and lots of things.
Yeah, so speaking of these, Angular's the one that, so I haven't actually touched Angular in a while. I don't know about you.
Sure. Why did this actually, there was a project that I was actually working on in a pairing session. I do a little bit of mentorship on the side, and what the project was written in Angular for the web-based part of the project. So I got to kind of play around with a few of the directives and kind of figuring out how to update attributes with dynamic data and things like that. So yeah, I haven't touched it a whole ton in projects, and I have thoughts on it, but I don't want to lead too far in.
No, that's fine.
Not on Angular itself, but why I haven't necessarily seen it in a project kind of thing.
This? Okay. So this is how their binding works. So this is working, it seems. Right? So they did some kind of binding on this. And do we get to see this code anywhere?
If you probably get an app.component HTML somewhere.
Yeah, right here, but that's including just title there. It's pulling in app heroes. Ah, okay, so app component is the TypeScript, and that's where that title gets set.
Yep.
This must be a class. It's including a component that is an app component, .html, so that's that. Where did the body come from?
Yeah, I think lines 3 to 7, they're setting up a definition of a component that you can kind of work with. Like, so what's the selector that you're going to work with? What are kind of some of the assets that come along with that? And then it binds the template HTML when it comes through.
So then heroes component is getting pulled in, I assume?
Yeah.
And this is... Ah, okay, so this must work with a piping system, because what it seems like they're doing here is, you know, hero name piped into an uppercase. So, for example, if I change this to lowercase, they probably have a lowercase one too, right? Yep, and then at lowercase is it regardless of casing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. It's like something from the handlebars days.
Yeah. I actually like systems that do piping, because it works pretty well.
It's intuitive, I think. It's explicit in what kind of order things are being operated in, instead of a long chain.
Someone suggested font size. Is there one for that?
Maybe a capital S on the size, possibly. Looks like you were getting some autocomplete stuff before.
Yeah. Can't find that. Either way, it does the double curly brace thing for all of its bindings, which works well enough. A lot of things use that.
This is actually kind of interesting. I don't think I've seen this syntax. So, what version of Angular is this?
I assume this is whatever the current one is, which I haven't touched in, you know, a good while.
I think I've only seen pre this.
V6 is what it's V6.1.9 it looks like.
Yeah, interesting.
So, yeah.
A lot less. So when I was kind of playing around with it, and the project that I referenced earlier, it had a lot of like directive kind of attributes inside the HTML elements. It looks like that was probably an older version that I saw before then.
Yeah, and this must be how they make like their special Angular tags.
Yeah.
Tell you about stuff. So that's the model. I assume this must be two-way binding. Probably if we set this value wherever it's stored, that changes it as well, would be my guess. Ooh, console. There we go. What is it? Probably, do I have access to it? Hero.name? Nope, hero's not defined. Where are the Angular objects, I wonder?
See, can you get back to the JavaScript file that kind of defines your component? Is there anything there that... Or we just export the class, don't we? There's probably...
Hero, we export this class.
Yeah,
it sets a default value. What is the... Yeah, so... Interesting. So, okay, so that looks like that's how it works these days. I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool. It's interesting. It's like all three of the examples that we're going to talk about today, I think, kind of have a very similar feeling to them.
Yeah.
Kind of
well, because I think at that point, there's no way that they all don't look at what the other ones are doing well and try to emulate that same idea. So, okay, I like it. Well, we'll come back to this. Let's take a look at one of the others. React is the one that had the most votes. So let's take a look at React. Can I not anchor that to the other one? Where's my other window? Had two windows here. There's Angular. Put Angular back. React. Okay, so React is the one that So Vue and React are like the new hotness ones, right? Those are the ones that like people are talking about a lot more these days. So at first it was Angular, and then React came out of nowhere and was basically like all the cool kids are using React, and now you've got like it's almost like the that secretive little group using Vue, where it's like you can tell it's popular, but it's not like React and Angular popular yet. So
yeah, it's my attention got drawn to it because so the previous 4 years was like a large explosion of like client-side rendered heavy application JavaScript kind of stuff, and a lot of those projects you really had to sign on to really being involved in that kind of framework's choice of how you write your HTML and how you write your attributes and how you try and dynamically render that from your server environment and stuff. And the things that I got interested in were usually the projects I'm on, some of them start fresh and you get to kind of choose your own adventure, but a lot of them have code that exists, some kind of legacy application that sometimes is a tower of cards, sometimes it's not, and so you have to kind of tiptoe around a little bit. And I like things where you can kind of own a chunk of functionality, and then kind of expand that scope over time. That was the big draw for, I think, React and Vue, and unfortunately I'm not as well versed in the new Angular stuff, but potentially the new Angular as well if you're kind of writing components that are a bit more self-contained.
Yep. Okay,
there's
so
still,
let's go ahead.
I was gonna say there's still a lot of stuff you have to kind of do differently and think differently about, but I think trying to keep that scope small, which is what React attempted to do, I think is an interesting move in trying to uncomplicate the front end a little bit.
Yeah, I actually got the impression that Vue and React were both trying to go that route, whereas that's what separates them from like the Angular and Aurelia world.
Yeah.
So, and I actually haven't. I do admit I have not even looked at how Aurelia implemented things. I just remember when that whole thing was going down and Aurelia was getting started up, it was like, oh, okay, well this is gonna be weird. We'll see what happens. Okay, so let's see if we can find. Do they have a nice like demo thing that we could? The Angular. This demo, by the way, I love that. Like that
nice little sandbox.
Yeah, that they gave us that little spot that we could just look at things. I'm wondering if we have one here. Demo.
There's gotta be something. First one in the stream to paste a link to something appropriate.
Yeah, if someone, anybody in the stream know of a good code sandbox React example? I don't know. We'll try this. React.
The bot doesn't allow links.
Yeah, so the bot will yell at someone about a link, but that doesn't mean I can't still get the link. Hey, Rubik's, welcome. Okay, so this is apparently a React sample.
All right, cool.
So it says, which I believe because it says import React from React. So now clearly it's legit. I don't think you could do that otherwise, right?
Correct.
Okay, so it looks like this whole to-do list is... So the index.html page here is empty, and it's just creating a div. So are they creating all the HTML elements in the... Oh, God, yes, they did. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, please don't do that to me.
So here's where I have changed my opinion over time.
Okay. All right. Listening.
So I think it's interesting to try to force you to think about individual components, and it becomes painful as you add more and more things to a single component. It just starts to bloat in size and bloat in responsibilities and things like that. And I am actually intrigued by what comes from forcing you to write things that I used to think were extremely ugly, and still, to be fair, are sometimes pretty ugly. Because if you think about it, all of the logic, so the template and everything are all kind of self-contained in one area. And if you can keep that file size or lines of code or whatever
Mm-hmm.
to a meaningful level or like a smaller level, it allows you to kind of comprehend the full functionality of an individual component at a time. Versus the Angular example, which I don't think they're restricted in pulling in an external template, but if you wanted to see what the styles were, if you wanted to see what the HTML was that you had to interact with, you kind of have to bounce around to a couple different things, which, to be fair, editors make that a more enjoyable experience and stuff. But I thought it was an interesting direction that they took with it.
Yeah, so it's just usually weird to have HTML inside of a JavaScript file.
Yeah,
There's,
well, put CSS and images in there, and
yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
that's the land we live in.
yeah, because part of the reason why it was always nice to get that code out of that, like for example, in the HTML file, we don't want to have the CSS in there, right? Because then it's not reusable, it's not easy to change across the site. If you have it inside of one page, which I guess if you're a single page app, it doesn't matter that much. But then, like, for the same concept with JavaScript, right? If you've got it inside the HTML page, you can't reuse it. So it's harder to have it be something like a component. But I guess if you've got a little bit of HTML over here, as long as you're putting it in there, it's I don't know. I could see a case for it. I guess. Uh,
It's you definitely have to work through some
yeah,
examples before you feel a little bit better in the pit of your stomach about it.
yeah. I'm willing to see how it goes. The one thing that makes me somewhat okay with this is the fact that this is a literal HTML. This is not inside of a string, which means we're not losing, syntax checking and things like that, right? It seems to still be considering this code to be HTML, right? That's not a
Correct.
string containing HTML. So if this were a string, this debate wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, so I mean, there's complications there in that statement and stuff, right? So, everything, all of our source files are strings, right? But something is taking this, it's interpreting it. I believe the language is called JSX. And so they have a couple weird hangups that you run into while you're trying to figure out what are these attribute names that I'm supposed to be working with. And you can, just like in Vue and just like in Angular and probably everything else, you can create your own custom components. So you start to see some names that look slightly similar, but maybe they're a little different.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's interesting.
Cool. So looking at this, so this is in our index .js. Right up here, they grab. So what's it called? Root. So over here, we should grab root somewhere, right?
Yeah, so you have a component called to do, and
Ah,
yep,
there it
down
is.
there on 57, exactly. You're gonna
Yep.
say, hey, let's kick this whole thing off, and the root component. So every component has a top level item.
So
So in this case,
React DOM, I assume, is a virtual DOM that it's running in order to make page refreshing not like a thing that just happens with every minor tweak.
exactly. And over the life cycle of React, they've kind of taken functionality that was all smashed into one library and split it up a little bit. So React DOM is the container that allows the DOM manipulation.
Yep,
Um,
makes
so
sense.
cool. Yeah.
I was
So,
just confirming what you were saying, but
oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah. No. So yeah, some
Yep.
interesting stuff in here. The the thing that I think is neat, and I always kind of have to keep reminding myself, is that it forces you to write more JavaScript, um, and less magical directives or magical pieces that are kind of buried inside of some library that you have to go and learn.
So
And so,
seeing this, confirm for me what I'm seeing here. So this
yeah,
is we're calling the render method on the DOM, and we're saying, hey, render this component into this like actual DOM element, right?
yep, yep, yep,
And so then it's taking this, and it's probably then runs the constructor that we
yep,
have up here,
yep,
because that's the component we defined.
yep,
And then in doing that, it's going to attempt to render it, and render has triggered things like remove item and handle change, or this one's bound to an event, and
exactly.
so is this one. And
Yep,
then these are the descriptions of those. Where was handle submit? I assume on yep, and on submit of the
yep,
form is right there.
Yep.
And I see that we're using like method call syntax here, and this is defining, this is the method that goes in there. And it looks like single curly brace wrapping around anything here that is JavaScript instead of the HTML when we're inside of this literal here that we're returning back. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is how they
Exactly.
define, like, essentially some kind of a component, a piece of functionality. I assume then that we could take other components, for example, and have them inside of this HTML if we needed to, or would we load additional ones onto the page somehow?
Yeah, so you compose components. So let's
Yeah.
say that this is kind of the root of what you're trying to work with.
Uh-huh.
You could bring in, let's say, maybe underneath the H1, or if you wanted to pull the entire form somewhere else, which we'll do a small kind of thing, you would do, start a new tag, and then usually you would name your component with a capital letter. You'd start with a capital letter. But really what it's going to
Yep.
do is just reference, so like to do in this case
Mm-hmm.
is a variable that's available on this when this file executes. And so if you just had another variable on here that was whatever name you wanted to call it, it could actually just be a function as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be a full component. So if you just said, yeah, exactly. If you said maybe something like, and then give it a name, let's start with a capital letter though. Yep. And then, so the properties will be things that you pass into that component. If you wanted to have a property, for right now, let's just leave it blank, so we won't take any arguments.
Okay.
And then let's just return what looks like HTML. So if you do space, and you do, maybe you can do your H1 tag, just grab that whole thing.
Oh, grab the one from down here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you don't even have to put it inside of those parentheses either. You could take those away. So JSX is an interesting mashup of HTML and JavaScript. So then when we call fizz, it's going to return this string when the render method gets called. And so if you came down here and you do, actually you can do, you just make it look like it's an HTML tag. So
okay.
less than fizz, and then just do a
Oh,
self-closing.
neat. And I get the yellow syntax on it too.
Yeah, and if you
Cool.
do a self-closing tag, so put a slash before the end. Yep, exactly.
Makes sense. Cool. And then I still get the header. So now I have a reusable header. And that name makes no sense now.
Yeah, as long as you're good with to-do list showing up all the time.
Fixed.
Yeah, and so down there, just like you add attributes to HTML elements, that's how you pass properties into your...
so I might do something like... and are these bound by name then?
Well, you start typing something and I'll let you know what it does. Because it's what happens is properties you can think of as like maybe read-only access to data that's passed in. And so if something else changed that property when its parent component re-rendered, it would send in new data, and the child component would say that information has changed. And so it's going to be, think of it as like a props object. So if you said something like props instead of letters there.
So like args.letters.
Yeah, right? And then you put it inside the brackets just like you were talking about.
Okay, so like that. There we go. See, now I can pass in fizz. So now I can make a header of any type I want. This is like, oh man, this is the best. Check this out.
It's about to make some websites.
Header. Hang on. Wait till you see. This is so reusable. Everybody's going to be doing this, man.
Please publish it immediately.
Yes. Hang on. Text. Oh, man. The best header ever. There we go.
There you go.
And done.
And so
ship it.
In our case, the text is kind of hard-coded, so you're using the double quotes. And if you change that instead to some dynamic property that you pass in there, it would work the same way. So if you changed that instead to the curly braces, and then you had a variable that kind of built the header from some other property, you can kind of keep going from there. And so the interesting thing is you can end up with these kind of, I don't know, they have some different names. I forget what they call them, but I heard them once called dumb components, like this my header component, which only knows how to take some arguments and render itself out. But, once you involve some styles or a little bit of some bound kind of click handlers, it's pretty easy to bloat those things quickly. So look to you,
Cool.
writing React code, production ready.
Yeah, whole bunch of stuff happened in chat there while we were talking.
Oh yeah, sorry about.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that was good stuff. So that is pretty cool. This does remind me a little bit of, like, I would almost say it is the reverse of like CSHTML Razor syntax, where when we use that, it's essentially, instead of going this route where you're making it so that here, since you haven't actually seen it,
Yeah, let's see it. See some
like,
live.
Actually, now that I think about it, we don't have anything cool that's on here that I will show you.
Well,
this
no, here
page
we go,
literally
right?
doesn't use it. But let me show you something that is useful. So you can see an idea of how it works over here. So literally we have these ASP tags, and so essentially it's a system you define your own tags that you're going to use like this. So these are our reusable functionality. So things like, I want to link to something, for example, that's an anchor tag,
gotcha.
and we make
Yeah.
ASP page, and it goes to that. That is not to be confused with a URL. That is actually the folder location of a page. So if your routing system does whatever it needs to do to get to that, it doesn't matter. That's a page you've defined, and other things like that. So you want to make, so they have like environment, and it's basically just a custom set of HTML that gets created, and these are all like configurable pieces that you define in code for what these bits are.
Yeah.
Right? So, kind of interesting. That's why I say it's like the reverse. It's like it's a clean way of putting code, like executable code, inside of HTML instead of putting HTML inside of the, executable code.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
How they have opposite approaches there. I figured I'd mention that because, like, it does feel like the reverse of that.
Very cool.
No, Razor wouldn't be used for like a spa, although you can use it for that. It would be a little weird to do.
It's mostly for the initial page render from the dynamic data on the server, right?
Yep. It would be what you would set up there. And you technically could still talk to backend pages for that, but you might as well just use an API for it, because that's a little, makes more sense. People would be less confused by that. So, okay, cool. So I like that. That's kind of neat. That's cool the way that works. So that's our React example. Do they have one of these for Vue?
They seem to have like a lot of kick this off in a embedded thing. Let me see if I can find a Meteor one.
This looks like one, but it seems... Can we edit this? No. But we could edit it in JS Fiddle. That would work. So, what is this? This pulls in... Yep, new view. Do they have a bigger example than that? I don't want a markdown editor, really. Get started. I'm assuming they have more stuff that we can kick off in that?
Probably. Some of these are a little bit... So if you keep going down on that introduction, they get into some iterators and stuff. They're not very meaty examples and things, but I think it gets across a little bit of the component definition and... Yeah, what are some of those other ones?
Yeah, let's take a look. That looks wildly complicated.
Well, maybe it's not. You don't know. You gotta toggle the tabs.
This looks very simple. You were saying this doesn't...
Maybe.
Actually, this is not all that complicated. Let's take a look. Sure, why not? This is actually kind of weird. Oh, that's funny. Someone tossed in the link. The same website we were on for the React sample has a Vue one.
Nice. Your listeners are extremely astute.
Yes, I like them. They're good. But we pulled this one up, so let's take a look at this first, and then we can take a look at that one also. Ah, okay, so this is...
Yeah.
That's weird. Huh. Neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I like that. That's an interesting example how they do that. So these values changing as well. So there's going to be a lot of binding, I think, in this as we look at it. So the HTML is here on the left, JavaScript down below. What is on this page? Okay, so it's got a bunch of stuff in the actual HTML.
Yeah. So an X template. So it's finding a way to get views template onto the page where it doesn't break anything, but it doesn't look like you're required to do any kind of like future or pre-transpiling or anything like that sometimes happens.
Oh, yeah, well, sorry about that. Let me, there we go. That should probably be a little bit better. Problem is the text is small for those guys. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Hopefully that's big enough. Any bigger and it's hard to fit on the screen, I'm betting. So,
Cool.
okay. So what are they doing? So view component polygraph. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So they're putting IDs on these script tags so you can get to the templates.
Here's where we actually start up view. So we're creating a new view and we're putting it on the element demo. So there should be a demo div right here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're binding view to this root element. And this is the one, so this piece here, the weird shape thing, that's our polygraph SVG that we've got here. And then the div for stat in stats. So, okay, so for each one of the stats that we have, they're going to display a label and an input for it and add in, the input is going to be a range input, which is what these are. So that's our controls there. We can add a stat. Oh, so it'll put another point on it. Okay.
Look how fancy this is.
Yeah, so we could put these back in. So that's kind of cool. Can I add more? Oh, nice. How many is that? 7?
And I think it's maybe implied, but I think it's like these are the type of applications, like when you're starting to do some meaty things and some dynamic things where it's nice to have some additional tools to kind of help you. I try to not bring in anything. I don't try not to bring in a larger hammer than is needed, till it's needed, kind of thing.
Makes sense. Okay, so this view object that we created here starts off with no label and a set of stats, which I assume are defined above. We'll look at those in a moment. So that's our data. Then it has methods defined, of which we have an add method and a remove method, and that must be, this is add, and remove must be bound to those.
Yeah.
So if we take a look, the button on the stats, which has X as the text of it, has remove, and then stat is what it passes in, which is that stat object. So receive stat, and we splice it out of our list of stats, wherever it is in the index, and grab a single element. Totally makes sense. Got it.
Well, ripping the one element out of the array.
Yep, basically just saying like, nope, chop. And since it's bound to that array, totally makes sense. What's cool about that, and maybe I need to look somewhere else to see if this modification's happening, is that I like the fact that if that is bound to an array, I like the fact that a removal of an element works just fine. What I'm wondering about is, does the change of that element also get detected, or do we need to do something weird like re-pushing the value into the array? Because I know sometimes when you bind to an array, that systems don't always detect the changes to the elements in the array. They just detect the array changes only. Okay, so when we add, we have a prevent default because it's a button. We
don't want to submit the page.
Yeah, or anything else weird, right? Don't want because will that stop? Crap. Does prevent default prevent clicks going up the DOM? So like going to your outer elements. Yeah.
Well, I think there's a stop propagation.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Stop propagation. Yeah.
Yeah, this one will just stop the default action of the
Yes.
browser if you catch it in time at the right spot.
So here we're saying if this new label, hang on, fixed it. Don't worry, calm down, everybody. I got us covered here.
Oh, that could be its own episode.
Yeah. So okay, so we got that. So if not a new label return, so if there is no new label return.
If the new label value is an empty string, it would be false.
Oh,
in this case.
Got it. Yeah. So wait, does that mean I can't, like send up a 0 or something? Maybe.
I don't know when they changed the label. Oh, I gotcha.
I can't do that one.
I gotcha. That's what it does.
Yep. Yeah. So clicking this button does not go through because of that little protection. Okay. Sounds good. This.stats.push, so it is pushing an element on when it does that, and setting it with the label we specified, and setting the value equal to 100, and then it resets new label back to an empty string. I guess it needs this variable just to exist so that we can set and use it.
Yeah, so I looked a little bit at the kind of the intro stuff on the Vue website, and they say if you're going to be using bound variables or you want them to be bound and change your application in response to their values changing, they need to be present with some kind of default value when the component is initialized. So in this case, them existing will allow you to change them later on and have it affect the rendering.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So the other thing I was wondering about was how these bind and whether or not we're actually getting the array binding. So I'm gonna look and see if I can figure this out in here. Where did this do this? So this is the initial set of stats that it's using, and we bound that to our data object right here. So that's actually what we set into our view object so that it had access to them. That's that initial set of data. If we look for this, where did it bind this? So we map that to value. Hang on.
Yeah, so stats is listed as a prop on this other component. If you scroll the bottom if you scroll that one up a little bit, you'll see it.
Okay.
So on the
so in the polygraph component, got it. Okay.
You got it.
Points is that, length that. Okay, so those are label and a value. Oh, you can start watching right here, Ancient Coder.
Yeah, we can actually. You want to just restart, Brennan, if you don't mind? Like, we'll just take it from the top.
You forgot to hit the Kappa emote when you did that. All right, value to point. So, okay, so is the fact that it says that it is a computed value maybe what makes that binding work?
That would be my guess. That seems like something I've seen, I think, possibly in Ember before, where you have to kind of provide a bit more context. I think, as you were saying, right? So you have this array that potentially has objects inside of it.
Yes.
Or this is maybe even adding in a new property that doesn't exist on our object. It has two properties, but we want it to have another one that we could call point, potentially, that will do things with that same data. Yeah, in React, you would actually compute that separate um, from the view rendering and stuff. So you would interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have those explicitly called out, like they're doing here.
Yeah, no, I like that because sort of what I'm thinking is, and we could look at how the other ones handle that too. But I do like the fact that any system that can nicely handle an array element changing in its binding is very useful. Because what I'm sort of thinking here is if you show something with like, if we end up with like a list of data about users or something like that showing on the screen display here, and we want to change the values of them, then it would be useful to be able to change the value per user and have that automatically update without having to remove and reinsert their value, or in some other way tell it, hey, like rebind the thing or something. If all
Yeah,
you have to do is be like, no, it's a computed one, and then,
right.
or something like that. If that really is what makes that work.
Yeah, I probably said a lot of wrong things about it, but I do like the fact that it has an explicit called out computed section. I think that's
Yeah.
nice.
No, I think that's good also. Um, so access label template is this one here, and so that must be this. Now what I'm wondering is if I'm in VS Code or something like that, so right here in JS Fiddle, this is not getting HTML syntax. And obviously we were talking about the idea of mixing HTML and JavaScript together. And I was saying, like, the one reason why I'm okay with this is because it's like, no, we're getting syntax highlighting. It's clearly treating that like JavaScript. It understands what's going on here. This isn't. This is
Oh, but
white text.
I don't know. I'd say depending on your editor, there's probably some support. I don't know. I don't know if they call their templates a view template.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess, but there's probably some syntax support. Maybe not in Code Fiddle or JS Fiddle in this case.
Yeah. No, I think that would be. I think that would be good. Oh man. Hang on. We've been raided by Honest Dan Games. Hang on. I need to defend us.
I don't know what a raid is.
Hang on. Don't worry, guys. I got us protected. We're gonna have a wall of Chattosauruses in the way, and welcome, Honest Dan Games and friends. There's a whole bunch of you that are raiding with. Let's see. Is honestly raiding with Honest Dan, and we bless the rains down in Africa. Wow, that is a raid message. Welcome everyone. Glad you're all here. Hey, have a seat. We are discussing various JavaScript frameworks so we can choose which one we want to have on our overlay here. And welcome everybody. I know the dinosaurs, they're crazy. We call them Chattosauruses. It gets a little out of control here sometimes. So cool.
So how do you feel about this so far?
To be honest, the one I like the least right now of these that we've looked at is Angular. Sorry, Angular.
Oh, I feel like Angular. I bet there's just another example that would win your heart.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
It is interesting though. I honestly haven't seen this type of syntax from it before, so I'm gonna guess that I've only played in some earlier versions.
Yeah, same here. I have not played with newer versions of Angular, so it is definitely a different place than what I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I can totally see why some people would like any given framework. There's some good stuff about each one of these, I think, clearly. Yeah, so we got people in chat. See, they can weigh in on all their opinions about whether or not React or Angular is better.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna start another vote at this point?
We technically could, but yeah, now that we've seen that, maybe we should actually have the new vote.
What do you think? What's your pick? Uh-oh, is this what the raid came here for? Is this?
Honest Dan, yeah, have a good lurk. Enjoy your food. So feel free to vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3, and that is Angular, React, and Vue. Wheatlaw, I don't have a good. I'm not definitive on one yet, but I could definitely go either React or Vue probably. Your message wasn't posted due to conflicts with the channel's moderation settings. Phoenix, what are you trying to post?
Wah, wah, wah.
I don't even know how you get that message. I don't even know what that is.
Voted for Backbone. That's what it was.
Oh yeah. It was could have been Knockout. Could have been voting for Knockout. Yeah.
To be fair, I used Backbone back in the day. I loved it. I love it.
I
Good
used
library.
Backbone. I used Knockout. Underscore, man. Underscore was great. Did you use Underscore?
Lodash, so I use Lodash. But it's like this spiritual successor, right?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of those things. They were great frameworks. Great libraries. Good stuff. You see? Another Lodash fan in the chat there.
Yeah. Just write it all in Lodash.
Yeah. So exactly, Ancient Coder. Knockout was good. I actually had a client that I was working with about a year ago that's still using Knockout because they built their app in Knockout and they're still working with it. They're like, it's not worth replacing. So, and like at some point it will probably get replaced, but
Did they move? I actually haven't followed that library in a while. Have they moved into some like virtual DOM territory as well with their stuff?
I don't know.
I'd be interested to hear.
Oh, okay, awesome, Rising Phoenix. That's actually really cool. So I tossed a link to my Discord if anybody's interested in taking a look at that. But Rising Phoenix actually just posted a link over there, posted what the text was that he tried to post in chat. And I think it probably got flagged because he had HTML tags in it. And probably it was like, whoa, don't want to mess with that, including one that was a script tag. So I can understand why the moderation settings might have freaked out about that, but either way, he was suggesting that apparently there's a template element you can use, like an HTML template element, instead of having it as part of the script. So I think what he means is on the, where was it? Right over here in the view template that we were looking at. And it was defining the template inside of a script tag. I think he was saying that there's a template tag that we could use instead, or something like that. I think might be the suggestion Rising Phoenix was making. So,
gotcha.
Very cool. Because I would like that better.
Sweet.
It's in HTML anyway. And, yeah, Ancient Coder, I agree. It is a shame that Knockout is not still a bigger thing, because it was actually very good at the time. Cool. So, looking at this, then. Confirmed, you get full editor support. Awesome, Rising Phoenix. That is actually really cool. So if you have that, then the editor actually supports that, and you get nice HTML syntax highlighting. So that's very cool. Yeah, Wheatlol, I would love to hear what your issues with Vue are compared to React. Let me know. React wins with 6.
Not to say that you have to choose the one with the largest votes. I thought it would be interesting to kind of re-poll and see if anything tweaked.
Yeah, so React won the popularity battle here. I will say the React one did look nice. And the neat factor about that is that I would not complain about learning both Vue and React. I think they both look good, and I do want to give Angular a shot. As much as I'm not, like, it's probably not going to be the one I pick, just because it feels a little...
Yeah, no problem.
The style of it feels weirder to me, but maybe that's just because I don't think the way that Angular's written. So...
Yeah, and I think that's kind of a barrier to entry to getting started with some of this stuff, right? Is sometimes that's why I like the parts where you can kind of choose a small piece and kind of build from there instead of jumping both feet forward saying, hey, I'm going to go all in on this before you even know necessarily what that end result will be to your application.
Neat.
Sweet.
So this defined React and React DOM as dependencies and pulled them in. Cool. No, I like that. This code sandbox IO was very useful. Thank you for having a React example and a Vue template.
Yeah.
Although, did we use this one? I'm not sure we used this one, really. This is a bigger example. I kind of want to take a look at this one.
Yeah.
Hang on. Web components will allow us to mix match framework components eventually anyway. True, CM Griffin. Sky Hoshi, welcome. Your mom likes React.
She does. She actually really likes the virtual DOM.
Yeah. John, you're young enough that you could have had a programmer for a parent. Was your mom a programmer?
No, she was not.
Okay.
No, I have fallen far from the tree in this direction.
Oh, so your mom
I'm good with
burns
it though.
books.
Yeah. She really. No, she only writes things in books. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she
Pen
doesn't
and
even
paper
like.
only.
Yeah, she doesn't even like e-ink. It's just not her thing.
Okay, well there you go. So what do we got here? So this is what? Hello World is import. So that is a component called Hello World that we load into our app when this starts. Where did this come from? Components, Hello World. So, here's the template tag that Rising Phoenix was talking about. So you pull it out as a view. In a view file, you have a template.
Yeah.
This looks like HTML up until that point-ish. And then a little bit of script down here right after this. So the view, I think, is... So template is just, looks like basically just some HTML up there, and then here's some script to be able to do your JavaScript inside of this file. And then these are getting included on the pages, I bet. So new view components app, and then the app component included the Hello World component, so nested components there as we go. And this should have, there's our app div, that's the root. So there we go, makes sense. Got it. And welcome everybody, thanks for all those follows, glad to have you all here. If you look at Vue, you can see in the HTML that you need to learn stuff, especially to do simple things. For example, div, so v4 stat in stats, yep, to do a for loop, yeah, I saw that. New view methods remove function to allow your HTML to use certain methods or variables. You have to go over this learning process of learning all these things and map all those methods and state every time you want to make new stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think what he's so what Wheatlaw's talking about, because he was trying to point out what the thing is that he likes less about Vue as compared to React. So when looking at that, actually I'm going to load this one because it has an easier example of it. The things he was pointing out is there's some stuff you have to learn that I think are part of just the way that it connects. So for example, this div has this v4 that's kind of built into it right here. And this then is a for each loop, is what a lot of us would probably call this. And it's, variable in collection, right? And then that's how it sets this up. And apparently there are a lot of things like that. Like then you have to learn, you want to do a v model if you want to bind a model to an object. And then the other thing he was pointing out is the way that you connect your methods. So I think he was pointing out that you have to know that your methods that you want to bind to aren't just JavaScript methods just declared wherever you want them. They are instead part of the methods, I'll say property, the methods field, member, whatever, of your view object, right? So you're defining, okay, we have methods. Methods is an object that has methods of the names that I want to use. So yeah, there's some weirdness that you have to think in that way, right? And that's kind of what I was pointing out when I was saying, like, I don't, well, at least right now. I don't think in the way that Angular works. And then that brings up the question of, do you want to learn to think that way? Because that's like the big thing with like, when you go learn functional programming languages, for example, everybody points out, it's like, oh yeah, it's great. You learn this new way of thinking. It's like, yeah, that's valuable. I don't know if I want to learn, you know, I don't, well, maybe that new way of doing, so like, let's put it this way. I hear great things about Angular. I hear great things about React. I hear great things about Vue. A lot of people talk about them. So Rising Phoenix says you have to do that with every language, which is true. There's new stuff in every language. And welcome. We just got raided again. Hang on a second. Hang on. Raid defense activate. And by that I mean, let me just cover the screen in Chattosauruses. In React, you use one language, one syntax, one thing. In React, your HTML view stuff is basically a JavaScript object, so you pass this around, put it in a collection somewhere, retrieve it. So I think the suggestion from Wheatlaw is because everything in React is just that JavaScript, that's all you have to deal with. So that makes that a little simpler. Whereas in the Vue and the Angular, we're switching back to something that feels more specific to them. Everything in JS is why I like... Rising Phoenix's comment is amazing. I feel that everything in JS is why I dislike JS.
To be fair, it's 100% correct.
You can see the HTML inside the JS to be different, but that is in addition to your current JS syntax instead of making a new language. The thing about Angular Vue and their templating is that it tends to be more declarative compared to the procedural JSX you see a lot in React. Yeah, that's what it seems like, CM Griffin. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript have different responsibilities, and I appreciate them being kept separately. Yeah, so see, that's the funny thing is that was my initial reaction when John was showing me React.
Yeah. It's definitely something that I had to use in a project before I became slightly more comfortable with it. It's definitely different. And to be fair, the JSX syntax in React, and I'm going to guess Vue is the same way, there's just some other piece of code that turns it into the JavaScript functions that you would actually call. So you could call the actual syntax if you wanted to. It's just then a bit more abstracted away from the HTML that you're trying to end up with.
Yep. No, that's cool. So as I said, I'm definitely willing to give it a chance in having some of the, I guess we'll say HTML like inside of my JavaScript. We'll see what that feels like. I'm willing to try it.
It's gonna be great.
So just for clarity for everybody, we actually have a few projects that we work on here on the stream. The main one is the chatbot that has the overlay and everything that's up on the screen here. That's the transparent overlay we have here. But then we also have one called Game Tracker, which is a program for recording like games that you play and things like that. And that one already is wired up to use Vue. So that's part of why I know a little bit about Vue is because I've messed with that one there a little bit. So my knowledge of Vue is the tiny amount that we have used up to this point on the stream. I have not actually deployed a project with Vue yet, but it's been a fun learning experience, and I actually like learning that one on the stream. Makes that more interesting. But yeah, so I am willing to give React a try. You guys won the vote.
Is this the point where John comes in and destroys your plan for
what?
the
No.
thing you were going to learn?
No. Because as I said, we're still going to use Vue on the other project. We can use React here. Hang on.
Interesting. Yeah. Then you kind of get to learn a little bit about what you like and what you don't, too.
Yes, exactly. Because there's no better way to compare and actually say, like, yeah, I like this one better. And the thing is that, like, we might come out of this with, like, I like one better. And people on the stream, like, any given person on the stream is like, oh, after seeing the Vue stuff, I actually prefer React. Or after seeing the React stuff, I prefer Vue. You can see how it works. This is much... Cool. Hang on. Let me read up on chat. So Rising Phoenix thinks that there's more proprietary stuff in React than Vue, which could be. It's really hard to say at this point, at least from my perspective. All of our code. So all of the code that we do here on the stream is .NET Core, so all of it actually runs on Windows and on Linux. So you can run it on a Docker container, for example. We had someone try that a long time ago. People trying to vote. Katrina, you're still trying to vote? I don't have... Yeah, Katrina, we're using both. I'm not getting rid of you just because I'm going to use React in one spot. That would be crazy. Don't blame me. I voted for the other guy. Yeah, so all of the code we do here on stream is actually out on our github.com/devchatter repo. So if anybody is interested in taking a look at any of the code that we do here on stream, we do have that. And also, for anybody that is interested, we have a Discord that you can all join if you want to chat with any of the rest of us outside of the stream. I linked links to those in the chat or down below the stream. Okay, so, and bring back Flash. Oh, come on, John.
Please. Oh, please.
Not that
I don't want to program in it, but I do want to witness it. That's when the web was fun. I had so much fun. That was good.
Wait, Flash. Hang on.
Oh no. Do you have like a dinosaur prepared for this?
No.
Oh, Silverlight?
Yeah. Oh, ActiveX. Oh man, Rising Phoenix. That's dangerous. Oh, ThinkBot Labs had said Silverlight also. See, there you go. Hey, ThinkBot Labs, welcome. Yeah. Okay. To be fair, though, we all laugh, but keep in mind there were some awesome things you could do with Silverlight. As much as we joke about its timing was just bad. If Silverlight come out 5 years sooner, it would not be a punchline like it is.
Yeah, no. For sure. And to be fair, I've worked on many punchline programming languages in my time, so I jest at the things that I enjoy.
Okay, so do we have time to actually start that?
Oh, I bet you can start something.
React. React. We're gonna make this branch that I'm gonna call React, and then I want to do a thing. Click the share button. Let's hope it doesn't display this link anywhere. So John, did you get VS Code running?
I did.
And have you tried it before?
I have. I've been the source before. I don't know if I've been the follower all the time.
Okay. Cool.
But
we're gonna learn how that works then. So
yeah,
here, have a link.
Have you shared a terminal yet?
I have not done that yet, but that's weird.
It is weird. I'm intrigued by it. So at some point I'll do it, but
yeah.
Let's see.
So if anyone hasn't seen it, VS Live Share is actually like he connects into my Visual Studio and can actually run the same code. So this is not C#.NET specific because he can run this in VS Code, which is like just a text editor. So it is Microsoft's text editor, but it runs Mac, Linux, Windows, wherever you wanna code. And I love how nicely it works when it works. We'll see if he can get in here or not.
This is more of my fault than your fault right now.
Yeah. Just to explain to all of you, this is a really complicated process. What John has to do here, there's a link, and so what he has to click on the link, and then pick a program to load, and then load it. So that it's super complicated. You can understand why a tech guy like John can't deal with this complexity.
I'm nervous. I think I'm getting somewhere. We'll see. Oh man, why am I failing? So the problem is I use the Insiders edition, and it doesn't show up as my autocomplete thing, and I'm sure it's just like reading a different thing on the screen that I ignored. But Here we go. This is my fault.
Don't worry, John. None of us had anything to do today. We'll just wait.
Yeah, no, this is the riveting part of the stream. Glad I could bring this experience to everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, it's
Thank
good stuff.
you.
Here, we'll go back to Space Command for a minute while you connect.
Yeah.
So, you guys knew that that we were set up here out on this alien planet, probably a dwarf planet, since you can see the curvature of it there. Maybe even a planetoid. I'm not sure which. Oh, wait, hang on. Someone used a command that says "Let's all wear hats." So don't forget to grab your hat there, John.
Well, I don't know how to grab a hat. I don't know how that works.
You don't have a rubber duck's cap?
I don't. I have a. Hold on. I actually have a rubber duck though.
Oh yeah, that works too. Yeah, it's all about the rubber ducks, man. Rubber ducks.
Ready to collaborate.
My DC cap. What's a DC cap? DC? As in, like, Detective Comics? Or... Oh, DevChatter cap. Oh, yeah, DC. That was fun. Oh, we don't have a baseball team. There is no DevChatter baseball team, Rising Phoenix.
Yet. Alright, I am attaching to something. I have loading screens.
Yeah, I need to get a DevChatter hat. I guess I could get a DevChatter hat. I have no idea what the cost of custom hats are. Do those get stupid expensive? I was looking at hoodies and I was kind of like, oh man, people are gonna want hoodies. Like custom hoodies are just priced stupidly. So I would have them already as an option, but actually maybe I did even enable them somewhere. But that was the thing that bugged me is I was looking at, those kinds of things. Hats aren't too pricey? Okay.
I'm having some technical difficulties on my. Here we go. Loading file tree. I had to kill off the Twitch stream.
Oh, you're running on a Mac. Got it.
Yeah.
So you only have 4 gigs of RAM because they soldered it onto the motherboard, right?
Well, you don't want it to fall out when you're riding around on a hoverboard. That would just be awkward.
Yeah.
I think we're getting somewhere. This editor is loading a file tree.
Cool. Out of curiosity, how much memory is Visual Studio taking up? I see. That would be the problem. My Visual Studio takes slightly more than a gig, so that's more than a quarter of all the memory on that laptop. My computer. I'm actually you would laugh because I'm actually using they're called desktop computers. We used to use them back in the 90s and whatnot.
Intriguing.
So, yeah. My Mac still handles Discord, Twitch, plus other streams super well, but I always float over to my Linux machine because 120 gigabytes just flies better than the 16. Yes, exactly. Yep. That's pretty much how it works. I will tell you guys, I actually used to, I have done programming on Macs. I have owned a Mac before. Only a few years ago, I actually used a MacBook Pro, and long time ago, I actually used to do when I was in school, I did Apple tech support at my university. So I have actually done a lot of stuff with Macs. So I'm just mean to them sometimes because they do evil things like soldering RAM onto a motherboard, which that should be illegal. That's just crazy. If I put my tower on my desk, it'd break the desk. Nice. That's pretty awesome. 30 kilograms, that's 60 pounds. Had to convert that to American there. Wait, someone's using PHP? What?
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's C.S. Andreas. But maybe I'm wrong about that pronunciation. And if I ever... Yeah, see? Yeah, I had to convert to American. Kind of like I can tell you the temperature outside. I'll have to convert from American to whatever you guys need. What, it's like 80 something out, right? Which if that were in like if that were in like, non-American temperature measures, they'd be like, "Wait a minute, 80. Are you guys dead?" Oh yeah, fuel stable. In Kelvin we'd be frozen, and in Celsius we would be like, dehydrated and dead. PHP is great. Yeah, exactly. 80 degrees Celsius is super dead, but so is 80 degrees Kelvin. Either one. Those are both death. Peach pie. Yeah, exactly. Peach pie. Yes, and probably not only frozen, but probably dead. So is this seriously not connecting at all here, John? Do we want to just try that again?
I am currently downloading and installing the .NET Core Debugger extension. This is a thing that Visual Studio Code has chosen to do right now.
Wow. Well, I guess we're going to do our song and dance routine early then. So...
It keeps saying that I join. I see on your screen that I join, and then
you're in.
Oh yeah. Well,
now you disconnected.
I've seen that message before.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't. Oh wait, left recursive names. Oh, the hypertext processor. Yeah.
If you're gonna keep screen sharing, I will just play along with you while this thing tries to figure out what it's doing, because it's now downloading the .NET Core Debugger again.
There we go. See, now I'm not screen sharing, so now it's gonna work, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I know Wheatlaw, but I prefer to call it personal homepage because that's slightly more demeaning. When your original name is personal homepage, it's like you don't sound like a serious framework. Yeah, exactly. Wheatlaw, I am old enough to know what personal homepage is, yes. I was, in fact, programming in the 90s.
What is going on here?
Yeah, front page! Woo! We were kidding about that. Don't actually use front page, but, remember that it was a thing.
Yeah, it only in memories.
Alright. I screen shared yin again. We can mess around with stuff. Okay, so we want to wire in some stuff here. We said React is the one we were going to use. So what do you recommend we do for this one? Pull in the library or connect to a CDN? They've got to have one on a CDN somewhere, right? And we can just
that would be my guess.
Because if we grab a React CDN one, then that's an easy way to just get started, and we can worry about actually including the library later.
Correct. Let's see here. I'm going to close this.
CDN links. Here we go. Okay, so both React and React DOM are available.
Yeah, so you will need both of those.
Yeah.
As I was saying a little bit earlier, so the React is kind of like...
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these, and I'm going to hop down here into the development section. And what do you think? Include this before our, before all this other stuff or after it?
I don't think it necessarily matters too much. The place I've kind of ran into the most problems were when you're trying to interact with jQuery plugins and things like that, because they just have a bit of a different setup or startup.
Okay, so they recommend keeping the cross-origin attribute. Anything else on here?
I think that should be good. Should get you probably capital R React and capital R React DOM in your window, would be my
Okay.
guess.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn off our overlay, and I realize nobody can see my screen, so I'm going to do that, so you guys can all see this. And then, what was I going to do? I need to load this into a page, so let's bring up the overlay. I'm going to disable it from our screen so that we don't have two going at once. So basically, I'm going to turn off the one that's showing over our screen, so no more hype on the screen. Sorry, guys. And the bot should have just reloaded, and now let's go to the overlay right over here. So this is our blank page. This blank page is what is normally showing on the screen, everyone. This right here, this blank page. Isn't that great? But when we do cool stuff like this, you'll see that those start going on that page. So that's actually what's happening inside the screen over top of that. But you'll notice right here it's limited to this window, right? So that's all it is. It's this. Okay, so in theory, it's included. So you're saying that I probably have... Is there a way I can tell if I have React on here?
So if you do like and then just start typing React, maybe, or React DOM. I saw both of those kind of autocomplete.
Yep, and there's React and React DOM.
There you go.
They're both there, so cool. Hey, Rising Phoenix! Thank you for the 2-month resub.
What? Do we have to do a dance? Is that a thing?
No, we're not required to do a dance because the music was off.
I'm pretty sure that we should start that.
But you do this. You go like you just do this because it's like it's the Night at the Roxbury thing with like Steve Ballmer and Bill Gates. So that's what would normally have been playing, but I turned the audio off.
Nice.
So, yeah. It's What Is Love is the song that plays when we do that. So
perfect.
Okay, so React is in here. So I want to wire something up. I want to bind to something, and I want to put it down below the screen there. So cool. We're already set up with React. Done. We're all done, right? Isn't that it?
That's it. Yeah, I think you're good.
Yeah, nothing else to do. Okay, so I shoved a bunch of canvases on the screen, but we can put something else on the screen also if we want to. So I have a div that's just taken up the full screen, and inside the div I put canvases, and some of them take up the full screen, and that's literally all that's actually going on here. So binding to a canvas seems weird. I think we want to bind to some HTML elements of some kind. And we could either do separate pages for each piece that we put on the screen here, or we could do another full-size display. So, what do you think?
So let's see here. So you have for canvas and model canvases. So is each one of those canvases a separate thing that your application does?
So yes. So the canvases are things like this. Let me illustrate. So I'll bring this up. So canvas number 1 is the one that does this. That is the animation canvas, where anything we animate on, we're putting on that canvas. So it's all the stuff that like moves around and takes up the whole screen.
Yeah.
The voting canvas is this one down here. And it's literally taking up the space that is in right there. So that is an HTML canvas that takes up that space. So when we do this, that is running inside of a canvas. Those notifications are not in a canvas. Those are just popping up on the page, so that's just HTML DOM elements that are appearing. And then let's see if it's on. I don't know if it's actually turned on right now. I'm going to find out. The Hangman game that we can play inside of here is also part of that. So if we want to play Hangman... Oh man, this guy is so dead. Hang on.
That's a word?
No, no, no. Those are the guest letters. It needs a label.
Oh. Okay.
Ah, we died. The word was link. Oh my god, we were screwed. We
Oh
were
yeah.
screwed. And it automatically does a fail in the animation canvas if you lose a game of Hangman. So there's the fail going off.
Nice.
So yeah, Link was basically instant death for us.
Wah, wah.
There's no way we were guessing that. That was an impossible one. So, yep.
All right.
So I'm thinking we want to put some HTML elements on here instead of just the canvases. But alternately, we could just do a separate page for each one, right? And so the reason you do separate pages is that then someone that's setting this up in the broadcast software could put their page wherever they want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then they could just lay out, within their software where they want it to go.
All right.
Does that sound right to you?
It sounds
Which I
pretty
know
good,
a lot
yeah.
of these tools are designed for you're in a single page application, but for this scenario, it's kind of like you'd have multiple windows open at the same time.
Sure. Yeah, and I mean, I guess you could handle that inside. You could handle that outside. Like a single wrapping component that manages other ones, or you could have pieces and parts that interact separately, right? So that's, like I was saying earlier, one of the things that I like about the less handsy kind of JS frameworks, where they let you do more and play in other sandboxes a little bit easier. So I don't think there's anything that stops you from having your components or your canvases there, and maybe even rewriting one of those canvases or adding in addition to it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's make another thing for this. What would be a good starting point? What do we want to get wired up as part of our overlay here? We could do our topic label, for example. We could start on that. So essentially filling in like a stream topic down there, for example.
All right.
Sounds good. Let's give that a shot. So I kind of want to do this. Let's make a folder of overlays. Did you end up actually connecting in here? Are you actually in now?
I am in.
Nice.
I can see the code.
Cool. That only took like an hour.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's no problem. Happens. Okay, so overlay. So I'm creating a folder of overlays for these, and let's call this the topic overlay. This will be a topic overlay.
All right.
Which I think makes sense. Maybe we'll have more than one of these. I do want to use a layout page, but I don't want to use the one that it's going to default to. Let's find out what happens. So I don't know what this might. Hopefully this doesn't get weird on your connection here, because I'm going to make new files.
It should be fine. I see a bunch of output.
Oh. Yeah, the output right now is it's trying to build the project, and I still have the project running, so I'm going to actually kill it for now. So there we go. Add razor page, add, and we're calling this topic overlay. I think that's what the brilliant name that we came up with moments ago. Clearly the best name for that. Yeah, so it was trying to build, and the DLLs are already in use by IIS, so that's why it got, kind of
no problem
angry about it. Okay, so there is a CSHTML file that has a basic layout that it's using. It's using the default layout, which I don't really want it to, because the default layout has stuff on it. But if you want to grab the scripts, why don't you toss them on that page, and I will start working on getting us the better layout, which I'm going to call probably overlay layout.
What type of script am I throwing into here?
Just grab the CDN stuff that we were using before. Actually, no, that'll go in this one. So jump to where I am. Actually, and bring that script in and toss it in the footer somewhere. The CDN, which is in overlay CSHTML.
Overlay.
And I'm just going to try to chop stuff out of this that we don't need. Like Bootstrap.
Didn't you have this I'm in the overlay layout. That's not it? That is not the thing I'm looking for?
Overlay.cshtml. It's just overlay. It's
Gotcha.
where you want to pull from. I do not need a cookie consent partial. Render body. There it is. Perfect. I'm going to get rid of Bootstrap. And what's that? jQuery? Alright, I'll allow jQuery. We might have use for it at some point. We'll pull in our JSmin, our JavaScript, render a script section for any additional scripts that we want to pull in the footer. Alright, that ought to work. This is called overlay layout.
Alright.
I think we set it like this. Or something. No? There you go. Yes. Console log on React and React DOM to see if those are in there. You want that in the script section down below where the scripts are pulled in the footer, right? Right? How do you do that? It is render section scripts. Section scripts. There it is. Let me put your code down in there.
We can kill the script tag, or we keep
No,
that in there?
no, that's still there. That's just defining that is going to get put in a special spot down lower in the body. And BG Ricky, thank you for that 3 months in a row, the Twitch Prime. I would spam the hype on the screen, but I currently have the overlay turned off. Why is that red? Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
I thought that's how you define the layout. You just said layout equals that. Yeah, just like that. Pretty sure that's how you do it. I don't remember. ASP.NET Core Razor Page Layout. Did I do anything weird? Yeah, cool.
Nice.
Hey, yeah, did you see who wrote that?
Thanks, Steve.
Yep. Underbody sections layout equals underscore layout. Wait, hang on. So does that mean maybe I don't put in the folder? Maybe that's why it's getting weird. Maybe I don't need to put in shared.
I don't know. I don't know where it looks by default.
Yeah, it's still red underlining it for me. It finds it. It takes me right over to it. So, okay. We'll assume it's good then. And we'll try running topic overlay. So, gonna run the project. We'll take a look at the code. Topic overlay. Did I? Oh, overlays. Topic overlay. Derp. There we go. So it says topic overlay. That's our H2, I guess. What's in the code here? React is not defined. How about now, though? Nope. Okay, so apparently our layout didn't get included.
All right.
Didn't it?
We can probably put a little thing in there as well. Right?
Wait, what is that? Script. Oh, did we not, hang on. Did I, oh! Whoops. Derp. Yep, hang on. I see why. You got tricked.
Duped. Include and exclude. Those would be helpful.
Yeah, so technically we should put the mins down there, but I'm not going to go grab the mins just yet.
Gotcha.
So that way it uses the minified versions for all environments except for development. Okay, so now we don't have an error, and it printed them both out. So cool. So we have React on this page now. So we could include this separately on here, and this could then just get loaded in, and we could start making little widgets like this, essentially, that someone can put wherever they want for these reusable content pieces that are controlled by the bots, so we can have a topic thing. So instead of topic overlay being the value in here, we could do something with having an actual value that came from the server and was loaded in here. So this could be like model dot, topic text, right? Or something like that. And then this would be the default value that it used. But we probably don't want to do that. We probably want to, so we probably want some default text that came from the database we put in there, but then we want that to actually immediately wire to React. So yeah. I guess that'll be what we do the next time we work on this piece. So cool. I'm not going to end the stream yet. I'm going to keep going, but I wanted to find out whether or not I needed to let you duck out, John. I know we might be hitting your time limit.
I actually am okay if you're not going to kick me out.
Oh, no.
I had a meeting get pushed back, so we are actually cool. in a good spot right now.
Sweet. We can keep. Wait, what? Hang on. What? Why didn't that command work? Did I kill the bot in some way? I don't think I killed the bot. Why didn't uptime go? Nope. I must have killed the bot in some way. Maybe I built or something?
Poor bot.
Yeah. There it goes. Yeah, okay, cool. And for anyone that is in here and is new to the stream, if you want to know when our schedule is, you can actually ask the bot. It'll tell you. And you just tell it where you are, and it'll search for that, put it in your time zone. See, John? Time zones. They're fun.
I like them.
All right. And by fun, we mean they require that, you practically be a developer to even understand what's going on with time zones. Ah, yeah, see, there you go. Schedule in Miami. Miami is the same time zone as Ohio, though. Oh, wow. Hey, look, it got it. Central European summertime. So there you go. Yep. Should be good. In fact, I don't think it had to actually go to the server to get Miami. I think we have a cached version of what Miami is. Oh, yeah. The letters BST, it may not be unique, but if it actually writes out British summertime, then that's actually not too bad. But yes, I could see why that would be confusing. And you also gotta love the arrogance of, like, the United States on our time zones. What is it? We're Eastern Standard Time, Western Standard Time, Central Standard Time, Mountain Standard Time, right? Those are our four. And the funny thing is, it's like, what's Europe? Oh, Central European summertime. You know, it's like, wait a minute. How come they have to qualify and these guys do, you know? Like, yep, way to go, America. Ooh, so I get squigglies on that. Okay, that's weird. So when I do a React component, so maybe I'll have to go to VS Code. It's probably not squiggling for you, is it?
It is not. No, it's
Yeah,
happy.
see, I should be in VS Code for this part because VS Code probably has no complaints. US has 6 time zones. That's true because we also have Hawaiian time and Alaskan time, so that's fair. But there's only 4 that actually have, you know, a significant number of Americans living in them. Wrong format of times. We don't confuse ourselves with AM and PM. Hang on while I convert time into American now, too. I already had to convert weight. Although, actually, now that I think about it, I converted their mass number into weight. Because really, is the problem that, you know, when someone was commenting they could not, you know, put their desktop computer on their desk because it would crush the desk? It has nothing to do with mass. That has everything to do with an amount of force being applied to the desk, which, you know, could be measured in weight, like pounds. Whereas kilograms make no sense, because it wouldn't crush it if you're not on Earth, necessarily. Oh, Rising, you tried to look up by the 3-character code. Yeah. Someone had suggested that for our schedule. They suggested that we allow, like, you know, schedule and then, you know, CEST or something like that. So someone was suggesting that, and I pointed out, like, the problem is, first off, if they tell us one where the 3-letter characters matches something else, we'll run into a problem. And there's an additional issue that you actually get with this, and that is if someone tells us Central European summertime, but Europe has just switched off of daylight savings time, so they're in Central European time if whatever country they're in just switched, we won't know to switch it and they'll be confused. So works better if you just ask for the place. So I'm just gonna watch John write some React code here because I don't know how to React. So he made a hello message class. So this is like the default hello world. And you made your name Taylor? Who's Taylor?
What's your dinosaur's name?
It doesn't have a name, but it is a Chatosaurus.
Is it O?
No, Chatosaurus, like a you know.
Chatosaurus. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, like a Chatosaurus, yeah, like that. The channel voted on that, actually. And that was the one that we came up with.
So I don't know how to do this part, but if you could drop JSON into here, we would then be able to take those properties and pass those along into our potentially.
So you want, like, from the server, some data to be put in that spot in JSON format?
Yeah. And I'm going to guess that this does not work, just as a heads up.
You mean you think there's some kind of typo or something somewhere that's going to make this not work?
Well, what do we have? What was the name? I think we did name, right? So if we did name...
Yeah, we have a property called name.
Of, what did we say? Chatosaurus. I spelled it wrong. I'm sorry, Chatosaurus. Slightly. And then I'm going to guess that there are like misquotes and everything's bad, and there's probably a nicer way to do this. But I would be interested to see if this does something. It might need quotes around the, well, unless you're like .NET magicking it. It might need, for JSON, it has to quote the keys as well as the values.
Okay, so you just need this to be a string here?
A JSON string. A JSON string, correct. Yep.
Okay.
And I found some like JSON serialize, like at JSON.serialize thing.
What did you call it? Name?
Name would be the key, yeah. And then whatever value you want to put in there. What I'm trying to do is get a JSON object in a data attribute. And then when we render the app root component for our hello message.
On my clipboard.
Yeah.
Oh, did I spell Saurus wrong? I might have.
I'm gonna give us a lower likelihood of failure here.
Okay, I'll let you do that.
Oh, there we go. I'm gonna get rid of the spread operator.
Now I thought we just did this, but
you might be able to save it to a variable and then use that.
I mean, I can do this, right? I can do JSON convert.
Because there really is no reason for us to put it inside of a data, like if you can do this kind of thing. I don't know if you can or not.
So I can certainly do this and put it inside of that property if you want. I can also put, I could also create JavaScript that same way, like that, if you want.
Yeah, I would just do it down like this. There's no reason for us to put it on some data attribute.
Just cut that thing, yeah. Just go ahead and cut that piece, and then you can put that down below, and then that will just create a string with some JSON
when
data.
You say cut, you don't mean just delete it.
Yeah, no, that's not what I meant. I meant like...
All right.
Yeah, I meant like this. As in like onto your clipboard, and then do one of these.
And then I think we can put it right here.
Oh, okay.
And do that. And so now we have our element, and we have our properties. We're going to console log them, and then we're going to assign the name attribute, or the name property.
And in
to
the
this
previous
component.
example that we looked at on the website, they just inlined, instead of having the element as a constant, they just had that DOM element directly in. So they did their get element by ID right there.
Yes, and we can do that since we're not referencing anything else off of it now. There we go.
Yeah, Wheatlall is the person I know that mentions Kotlin the most, although there is actually a group of developers that I know down in Cincinnati that do a lot of stuff with Kotlin and really love it. So they're the other people that I hear all about it from, really, but I just don't talk to them as much as I talk to Wheatlall. Okay, so I guess we'll try this and see what happens.
Yeah,
it's all red squiggly on my side, as you can tell.
We'll see what blows up. I have no squiggles.
Yeah, I know. As I said, I should switch over to VS Code so I don't have the squiggles either.
If you just turn off everything, and then it's a perfect.
Okay, hang on. It should be recompiling all the various stuffs. Overlays, topic overlay. Fantastic. That looks beautiful.
Well, let's see what we got in our console.
Unexpected token.
So it doesn't like JSX in this script tag. Interesting.
Apparently. Yeah, it doesn't know what to do with this.
I would have thought, did it try to call it before our libraries were loaded?
I'm not sure. Is there some way that we could have this delayed on running until, say, around page load or so?
So there's an async. I think you can say false, but I don't know what the React library is going to do there.
We should be after. We should be lower in the file. I don't know whether or not that, like, how much needs to load of React. Yeah, there's a good idea. Print that. So you save the page and I'll run it again.
There also might be something that we have to do if we use the CDN version. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, we get an unexpected token before that's even printed. So it's like it doesn't know what to do when parsing it.
Gotcha. Did you grab... Oh, here's the CDN links.
Aren't you supposed to compile it? Do we need to do something to compile this stuff?
I didn't think we were going to have to, because we added the React DOM to the app. Let's see here. Oh, here you go. Add script tags. Done. Add our component. Done. Render. React DOM.render.
Yep.
E.
Yep.
Whatever E is, they're calling E here, and then they pass it like that.
Yeah, but it seems like it's complaining about the syntax of the file. Which...
they also remove brackets. They do not have brackets here, and I don't know how they pass props to it. Optional, try React with JSX. Okay, so we can pass that with an object here, and that as the name. So then this thing would turn into an E.
Oh, man. I have so many fewer squiggles down there now.
You do? It's getting happier?
Well, to be fair, it got so much happier with that. It's still squiggly around the HTML that's here inside the script tag, but it unsquiggled elsewhere. So that return, did they do the E thing there too?
JSX in any script tag. Interesting. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of E for a second and add one more thing.
No, we do not have JSX transformer.js included as far as I know, Rising Phoenix, which that could absolutely be it.
So this says, quickly try JSX. It says, quickest way to try it is to add this script tag. Now you can use JSX in any script tag by adding type text babel attribute to it. So I'm going to guess we need to go save this, and we need to go back here, and we need to change it. Instead of doing that, we do this.
Type text. Oh, man. Oh, all the squiggles went away. All the squiggles went away.
See, your editor was actually doing the right thing. Mine was just saying, looks good. I don't know. Looks like code to me.
Well, to be fair, VS Code really is just a text editor. Okay, so something blew up differently, but that's good. Inline Babel script, unexpected token. See, it knew what it was. It does not like the quote main quote.
Yeah. Interesting. So I wonder if we can do... I don't know how you get to that.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
So you were wanting to put this on like on the DOM element originally before, right?
Originally. Now, if we just get JSON, like an alternative would be like const props equals name.
Yeah, so we could hard code for now, right? And then just make sure it works and then try to pull the data in a second.
We can do that, exactly. And so now we have a props.name.
Did that seriously not comment that out?
Oh, I wonder if I had to like JSON parse it. I missed that.
We'll do that. Oh, right, because I have to do that. Yeah, okay. So there, comment it out. Type text.js maybe? Oh, yeah, Rising Phoenix. That's a good suggestion. What if you just don't friggin' pull it out of C#? Yeah, no kidding. We can pull it out of data. I was just thinking for the default value. For the default.
We'll get there. We're getting there.
So, hello, Chatosaurus. Cool. So, works.
So now we just need a way to take wherever your data is coming from, which is probably something server related. How do you get that into an object that you pass your top level properties for this component? And you'll want them to be as flat and as dumb as possible.
So we need to grab that data from the server is what you want. So when we set a new topic, we want to be able to get that. So
Well, unless so you're talking earlier about like a WebSocket. Unless the WebSocket is the thing providing the data, I'm not sure.
The WebSocket that we would connect to would be where we would want to get the data.
Gotcha.
Because then we could update it at any point while it's live, right? Because we'd be connected to it.
Yeah.
Wonder how messy that gets. Have multiples of these. I guess it's a decision we can make at some point later, and this could just become, instead of the topic overlay, just a whole, like this could just be part of the overlay.
Yeah, right. Because, in the long run, if you have one WebSocket that's providing data to multiple components, maybe you don't split them all up, but...
Yeah. So... let's do one of these. So instead of bot hub, let's make, what do we want to call this? This is like, it's almost like overlay. Since we're doing overlay stuff, this is like not necessarily even animated things or anything like that. This is just like content, right? So let's move this to its own file. And yeah, the stuff I'm doing here probably won't make that much sense to you. Basically, the way that SignalR works is that you connect to a hub is the concept. And that hub is basically a just a class that, oops, meant to click that. Defines the methods that you want to be able to call to send information. So I could make one that's called like change topic. So whenever we change topic, we call this, and then that sends that info down. So inside of the overlay hub, include the, there we go. Okay, so this can now be used for that.
Nice.
Mutate the React state with the data from the socket. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I look like... wait, who looks like Todd from Breaking Bad? Also, hello, I don't know how to pronounce your name. COGH develops. I'm guessing either that might be develops? I don't know. But I will pronounce it some way that makes sense if you tell me what that is. And I won't continue to sound like an idiot trying to pronounce your name. Yeah, okay, cool, got it. I mean, React has actually what you need built into React. It has a WebSocket connection to a web API built in of some kind.
Oh, sorry, what's going on? I'm just typing stuff.
Yeah, no. Feel free to keep typing stuff. Has a state manager which you can update. Oh yeah, well I figure we're gonna do that when we push down messages from the server.
Yeah.
But anyway, were you? I don't watch Breaking Bad. So were you talking about John or me? And I don't know who this guy is or whether we do or don't want to look like this person. Okay. Me. Okay, cool. So, overlay hub, I want to use in the same way that we use the bot hub, which means I want to go to this place. Duplicate this line of code. And actually I wanted to duplicate more than that. overlay hub. And that's I overlay display notification. That is not going to do that. That is going to call change topic, topic, topic. This whoops. Go over here. Topic, string, topic, this in its own file. Okay, cool. Sorry, what's going on?
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Don't worry about that co-develop. The comments about the C# code. Yeah, that's actually that part's on me. I have one extra thing that I did that I didn't need to do, that I should get rid of, that I need to refactor out. Yeah, Ancient Coder is correct. I do a series called Learn to Code in C#, which is for beginner developers, but also for anyone that is just learning to code in C#. So essentially, it's if you don't know C# or don't know coding at all, either one is fine. And we do like follow along type programming stuff together, and I do a lot of explaining how all of the different stuff works. So we did an entire episode where all we did was work with all the various looping constructs in C# and talk about how they actually work and what weird stuff is going on in them. So in this one, we're going to call this change topic. Okay, this gets its own file. So now I am going to create a little command for topic. Oh, co-develops. You did C# when you were 16. Well, that's cool. Thanks for making us feel old. I guess if he used like C# version 1 when he was 16, then I don't feel old. But like if he means like he used like C# like a few years ago when he was 16 or something, then I'm gonna feel old. Oh yeah, no. Hang on, wait. You want to see there's JS right here. This is JS. We chose a JavaScript framework. We're happening to be putting this into a project that also contains C#. So it's some of both. Some of both. My streams usually have both C# and JavaScript in them. So, long and complicated type name, long and complicated... C# has for each, while, and do while. Yeah, if you wanted to get really crazy, you could technically also talk about some things that are kind of like loops, like goto. C# has goto, that's kind of like a loop. And it also, you could do some similar to looping style constructs with async. So you could use tasks to do some of the same kind of thing. What does goto do? Oh yeah, see, co-develop C21. There you go. See, he does still make us feel old. Goto crashes your application.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's fair too. No. So I actually will tell you, I have seen some good uses of goto before, but it is almost always being done by someone writing in C, and they're doing something like building a compiler for a language. And you're like, okay, in this circumstance, that's, like, okay, sure, yeah, fine, you can goto on that. Oh, see, look, you're wandering around in the JS.
Oh, I was just playing around in there.
Yeah.
I'm looking for
like, where's John?
WebSocket
What's he doing?
connection. For some reason, I can't search the project for text, which is...
Oh.
I don't know if that's an insider's bug or not. So I have to find things. It's like a treasure hunt.
Yeah, strange. Wait, what's a label? We have a label somewhere? Where do we have a label? Like an HTML label?
No, aren't labels on gotos?
Oh! Someone was explaining gotos. Oh, yeah.
I think that wasn't that you explaining gotos.
I wasn't explaining gotos.
Oh, okay.
Fuel Snable's explaining gotos. I just said they exist. Goto is fine if made by the compiler, not by a developer. Yeah, but the idea is if you're building a compiler, you have like you will end up with those, even if you are building them with the compiler. You prefer come from over goto? Sure, Fuel Snable, I could see that. Go to an error kind of thing. You can set up a label on a row by writing my label. Okay, so I was going to do this. Commands. Class. Topic command. Wait, what? I am actually confused by that. What?
Is the overlay stuff, is that from you, or is that a Twitch?
Oh, right. The overlay stuff, some of the overlay stuff that is there is from Streamlabs. And then I am, having our bot replace some of that stuff with our own things.
Yeah.
Streamlabs also bought Ankbot, or something like that. In some way, they acquired it and now developed that, and that integrates with a lot of their stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no problem, Co. I don't know if it's just me or everybody else, but yeah, no. Gotos are actually pretty useful. I'm amazed that they went into actually explaining how labels work.
Yeah. Your stream kind of like auto corrects itself.
What are you talking about?
They questions are prompted and they get solved.
Wait, hang on. So if you're setting a topic, we're just going to make all the arguments. So why don't we do this? String dot join with a space all the arguments. That way, if someone, whoops, event args arguments.
Am I throwing you off?
Only mildly.
Okay, sorry.
Event arguments. So this is new topic. And we'll say, why don't we trim this? So no space at the beginning or the end. And then this needs to have that piece. So we will say I overlay display notification. I'm going to save that to a field. And then we can use this down here to say change topic to new topic. And I only want to do that if new topic isn't null. Well, actually, no. If you want to set it to blank, I guess you can set it to blank. So, there we go. Now what I forget how to do is how to default this now. So what do? Do I say, like, role required equals mod? Is that the way I set it up now? I forget how I do this. Let me take a look. Shoutout command. How did I define the defaults for these? Set up command data. That was it. Set up command data. Hang on. That's where I put it, isn't it? Command data, default command data. Oh yeah, that. Ew. That's not. Why did it think I wanted to look up the definition of string?
You never know. You never know.
Clearly I needed to see the text for how strings are created in the system. Alright, so let's just add one of these. Role required mod, there you go. No help text, because I'm a jerk. And it's core commands and overlays topic commands. So topic command, there we go. So I don't set that there. C# is actually a very good language for beginners. It's not actually that hard of a language, and a lot of the stuff that people run into with like the really, really terrible names, where you get like the really long stuff, so I do it every once in a while, but like that's one of those things that you end up with that in like enterprise-y code is usually where you get like the absurdly long name for something. I want to go here. That is await all clients. We're sending in that as what we want to do. So that should be change topic. So let's take a look in our topic overlay, which we're going to change the name of at some point. So we've got that. Where can we get a page load in this? Is there anything weird with the text babble stuff, John?
I don't think so. I think you should be able to save it. All it does is adds a few more methods that have empty bodies. Are you trying to get? What are you trying to get? A notification when the page loads?
No, I want to do. I will show you. In this code.
Yeah.
Down here. I do this.
Okay. Do you create a new hub connection for each app, or do you? Yeah, let me see here. So bot hub connection, voting hub connection.
I can take this function for now. We could extract this somewhere else, and like make this our stuff for doing this. And yeah, co-develops. I agree. I also am a big fan of programming.
Well, you just need that line and a hub name for now, right? Unless you're doing
Yeah.
something with teardown or something along those lines. Let me see here. Oh,
Well,
I gotcha.
here.
I gotcha. I see. Can you just save the connection for the React one onto Windows somewhere? So your if you scroll up a little bit, the yeah for
Well,
it.
this is in a separate. This is running a separate request. So it's to be a separate page.
Gotcha. So that this code isn't shared. It's not called on the.
I wasn't planning on having it be on that one, but what I would think is we'd want to move this JavaScript somewhere outside of overlay for dealing with our defaults for how we connect to SignalR.
Yeah.
So these are our like default little functions for this.
Yeah.
And then all we would have to do is just say create a hub connection with that name, and then start it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then that would be like our convenience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so some kind of shared whatever, I don't know where you have like a shared JavaScript library for that, but
Yeah, so basically just to explain, just to like show you how that connection works is once you create and start the connection, you just, well, I guess you could put this in before you started it, but you just say on and then whatever event you want, and then from the server side, all it has to do is call that, and it will just send you down whatever data it wants, and then you just have it. And it's basically like, oh yeah, I just put this thing and I just listen for that. So it doesn't do any polling or anything like that. It just allows you to push from server to client whatever data you want to do.
yeah. What's in the new one that we're doing is what's the topic overlay or topic create or
So we called it
in the command?
change topic is what the on is. So it's on change topic.
Gotcha.
And the hub name is the overlay hub.
Overlay hub. I don't know how you off the topic, but but if you could get away, if you have a way to pass or either or create the connection. So there's a couple lifecycle hooks inside of this React component. So if you think of this one or something similar to it as kind of your top level, what we're doing is we're saying we want to render this component down here. And inside we say, here's our constructor. So if we need to do anything with properties that are passed into us, or we want to save something on like a state that will change over time that we can pass to other components, we can do things in the constructor. When this component is actually going to be utilized, the component did mount will be called at some point, and that's where you would set up like event listeners or do something with some kind of like external event handler.
Wow.
And then you just, when you are going to unmount or take yourself out of the DOM, you would remove those event handlers inside a component will unmount. And I just kind of set up 42 as your data handler, which could be whatever you want to do.
So that was going to be overlay hub. That's what we called it.
Mm-hmm. And we may want to do the hub creation inside of the constructor and just save it as like this dot connection. And then in the component mounting and unmounting, that's when we would call the wherever we subscribe to the topic.
Okay. So we'll put that in there. So that gets us our hub connection right there. And then we need to start it. So let's grab this. So we'll need to extract that into something better at some point, but let's do that.
My formatting rules aren't affecting your experience, are they?
The whole thing's a little confused right now.
Yeah, no problem.
I wouldn't worry about that just yet. Let's get rid of the error section. We're not going to handle the errors. It's going to connect and be fine.
We just won't have any, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually when I design apps, I just design them to not have errors, and then you don't have to worry about it. Get to write half the code.
So we'll say hub connection dot start, and then whoops. It really wants to shrink all this stuff down. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so confused right now. It does not you'll notice from it being white text, it does not realize this is like code at all. Wheatlol, I'm not switching to tabs.
Wait.
Have a good one, Co.
Do you use tabs or do you use spaces?
Spaces.
Because in my editor, it looks like a tab experience is going like crazy right now.
No, you've got spaces.
All right, I just asking.
No, I know it's space. You see those blue dots on the screen?
Yeah. Well, I don't have blue dots. I have gaps of space. Sure. But yeah, they are spaces. You're right.
They're spaces because it's displaying what like those. So if there were an actual tab in there, hang on. How do I find a tab character? Where is it? Tab character somewhere? Tab? How do I find a tab character?
You're gonna like copy and paste a tab character?
Yeah, I need to find one. How do I get a tab in here? I don't even know. Yeah, exactly. As Wheatlol mentions, they would be arrows instead of.
Yeah.
It's an arrow for a tab instead of those little dots. I don't even know how to get one. I don't want one on my computer. If I hit the tab key, I want you to move me to the next thing. I do not want a tab.
If I hit the tab key, I want spaces. I don't want a tab.
Correct. Yeah. Why would I? Who uses tabs?
I don't use them. I just think that.
Do you have a typewriter? Do you use a typewriter?
Oh no, I don't.
All right. So hang on. So instead of doing this, let's just do this for now. Derp, and then this on data received dot bind this. So where's your on data received?
That is right here.
Okay, this is so the value that we get from hang on. So when we get that data, well, if you look at the on here,
yeah,
we get so this calls a method.
Yep.
And like vote info, for example, right here, whatever's passed into it, that's going to be a string in our case. So that means that instead of putting this in here, we need, so I'm going to put that on my clipboard for now.
Yeah.
So we'll call this like topic text, for example, right? Fat arrow that, and then you can do whatever you want with topic text, right? Like,
that's what so the bind call. So we're not actually calling the method there. We are.
So does bind get you a method?
No, bind says when this method is called, this should be the object that is currently this at the time where you bind it, and so it will call on data received, and data will be that string, the topic text in this case. So you can put it down here. So you're just doing another way of defining a method.
Yep.
And in your case, the fat arrow, I think is what they call it. This will keep the context of where you defined it, and so it's similar. It'd be like calling this topic text, but instead of having to do it there, you could do say.
And so that'll make this be.
Yep. Bind.
But do you pass in this to the bind method?
Nope. So this it won't actually call the method. What it does is returns. You think of it like it returning a new method. So you will use the method returned from that bind call.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense then.
Yeah, it's like
when
wrapping.
You were passing in this to it, so like.
Oh, I think, do I need this?
Maybe, I don't know. You had it in there before.
Forget. Yeah, that was kind of muscle memory, so I might need it there.
So this is just going to return back a method that does the binding of whatever the data is.
It's already pre-bound is a way to think of it.
So how do we define, like, does that for like this whole model, that's the only, where's our data defined? So where did we define data for?
Data being the like, information that comes from here.
So this is going to send down from our end, and it's going to pass it into whatever method you have defined here as the argument for it.
Yep.
Where is, okay, so on data received, topic text, oh, okay. And so then you're setting it down there.
And here I'm setting, and I don't know what, maybe it's topic. Be better than whatever I had generically there before. But
sure.
This would be saying, hey, this component's dynamic state, I'm going to update. I'm going to change the topic value to be the value that I received from my WebSocket.
Okay.
And we can set our default up here if we want to, I don't know, an empty string or some other thing if you want to. I don't know what it just did with its auto formatting, but everything is aligned.
Yeah, it kept doing that. I don't know why it wants to do this so much. It doesn't, like, you'll notice on my screen that text is all white. It doesn't know what this is right now. And I actually think it's, if I had to venture a guess, I would guess it's these. But I could be wrong.
Well, we can kill some of this stuff, so we don't need that. That's not going to do a thing. This we do not need. So we're going to create a connection, start the connection. I would probably do like a this.hub connection, so you have a reference to it, and just in case you need to do a this.hub con.off or whatever it's called.
I'm not sure what it's getting confused by. Something has it confused, and it does not know what any of this text is.
I would probably blame my extensions that I have installed right now.
So this class, all of this stuff, the constructor, the components did mount, all this stuff is supposed to be in the class?
Exactly. Yep. The only thing that's not a React default or a React method that would be there is our onDataReceived, which is our own custom method that we added to the class.
Yeah, I'm not sure where we lost it, but somewhere it said, I can't figure out that this is JavaScript anymore.
To be fair, it doesn't really look like JavaScript, or at least the JavaScript that I learned back in the day.
So I could do that, right, in the constructor?
Yep. Yes, you can. Yep.
That would simplify it a little bit.
And on my screen, it looks like we're doing four spaces per indent, and so the component did mount is a little bit off, but yes, everything that you are doing is correct.
Well, not wrong.
Not wrong. And then down here we can actually do, maybe we can output the topic as well.
So the funny thing, Wheatlall, is when it actually did the switch the first time we did it, and suddenly syntax all worked great. And Fuel Snibble actually has a really good description right there. I find it interesting that it can identify the div.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's it really wants to render your JSX tags, and that's it. Everything else it gave up. I have no idea what that code is. There's no way that it could ever be code.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, either way, we'll have to figure that one out. Let me try this. Yeah, if you want to write a simple language, like a simple programming language is not the most complicated thing that you could write. But if you actually want to write like a good programming language, that's going to take you a long time. RIP. I killed something down in the lower level part, I'm sure. It is something with configuration because I messed with stuff. Let's just run this. Vroom. Yep, that is one of these. Which one didn't wire up? What? I meant to look at this one. There it is. It is... There we go. Fixed.
That was pretty quick sleuthing there.
It was pretty much only one option for what that could have been with that error message.
Oh, okay. Well, that was good then.
Yeah, it basically said, hey, I don't know what type you want, is essentially all that it said, so I went and found a type. Topic overlay. So here we are. Were there any errors on this page?
Yeah, looks like
yes. Signal R is not defined. Okay, so we need to include that on the page. That would help.
It usually makes it easier to call.
Yeah, somewhat.
So that's in our yeah, you got it. You got it.
And the page I want to steal the link to that from is over here.
And do you call it inside a site or something?
There
like,
it
oh,
is.
there you go. There you go.
Like, I know it's got to be over here somewhere. So it was included in the head. I don't know if that's going to make a difference.
As long as it's there before our component tries to do something.
So there we go. Let's see if we can run that again. There we go. WebSocket connected.
Yeah.
That's fine. Are we using it anywhere?
Yeah, I put it in the. I put it after hello. It says hello, blah blah blah, semicolon,
okay.
And then it posts the topic. No client with change topic. Wah 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 wah.
No client.
Change topic.
Did we typo that?
Maybe. It doesn't look like it. Oh, I don't know where the method went, but I don't see it on my screen anymore.
Oh yeah, it's gone. Okay.
How did that? I don't even know how it compiled.
I have no idea. It doesn't compile. That's JavaScript. There's no compiling.
True.
So put it. That's your fancy weird bind thing. Put that back in.
Yeah. So we go.
Maybe we control Z it out or something. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Saved.
Let's reconnect that.
That's
so
nice.
It should
that
be
it
reconnected.
tells you.
Topic. This is the new topic. This is the new topic. There it is.
Cool. Sweet. Sweet. Does it make sense?
Yep. So there we go. So now we just need to actually wire that up to be data that's stored in the database in some way, that like there's a topic for the stream or something like that. And then that page will just, on first load, probably ask for the data, maybe? That or get loaded with it initially.
Yeah, probably loaded with it, because you're probably you're I don't know if SignalR has a way to pass initial data to an opening socket.
Well, no, but we could just open the socket and just we could just start up the connection and just ask for it.
Immediately ask, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, maybe that way you don't have to play around and like, how do I get it to work in this formatting?
But there's got to be a nice way to pass that data. So cool.
Sweet.
So whip. This is adding React topic overlay display. Leave. There we go. Got rid of all the crap that was hiding behind that. So cool. When the function you called is done, it reads the line number and jumps to that line of the parent of the function. Oh, yeah. They're talking about programming languages still in chat.
Yeah, I see.
It's super weird. Okay. What else? Do we want to wire anything else up with this?
Well, I probably have to bounce out. I have to go back to parenting duties. But
parenting? What?
Yeah, I know. They're more demanding than code.
That's actually what I was doing yesterday, was parenting duties. My wife actually got home to watch the kids so I could stream yesterday. So, because Columbus Day was a holiday.
Lucky you.
Well, I mean, yeah, kinda. It was nice that it was nice that she was able to swing home, and then I was like, I didn't have to cancel the stream. Cool.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I always wonder if you can hear him crying in the background about stuff like, he's not one yet, so he's, like, that's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. That was good.
Yeah. Thank you
nice
for
discussion.
the invitation.
Yeah. Hopefully you liked it enough that we will get you back on the stream for some future stuff at some point.
Cool. I'm trying to figure out where you're at again.
Well, here, I can do this.
Realm.
This will help. Hang on. There you go, buddy.
Yeah.
That's an improvement. I don't know. You can't really see what's going on right now.
I closed it because my computer was not happy.
Oh, okay. So I am to your right, just to give you the answer. Correct. Yeah. There you go. You are to my left. See? Hi. That is the trick. Because the reason why that's actually so challenging, so someone said I was throwing you under the bus at the beginning of the stream, and the reason that's actually so hard is the fact that even when we use a program like Skype or GoToMeeting or Zoom or whatever it is you use, it mirrors your video to you because you're used to seeing yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
And so just so that you don't go crazy, it mirrors you. But then it doesn't when you send it to someone else. They don't see the mirror version of you. So that's why you always, without doubt, if you just look at it, you're like, yeah, they're that way. Oh wait, no. I mean that way. So.
Well, I didn't get scared off. So I will gladly come back for another session sometime.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the invite.
Yeah, it was fun. So, everyone, say thank you to Jonathan.
Thank you, everyone. It was fun. It was a good time.
All right, cool. Take care. I'm going to cut you off now.
All right, sounds good.
I'll talk to you later. See you, John.
Take care, everybody. Later.
That's right, he's been kicked out. He's gone. Let me do that. Oh, look, see, you guys got to see. in case his video got messed up, I had backup Jon there as the, like, just in case something went wrong. I actually have a picture of them behind them, so that if their video messes up, I can switch to that. There, that's the secret. Let me turn all this stuff back on. Event list. And there we go. Cool. Alright, switch back. Jon is gone. Thanks. Have a good rest of your day, Jon. Take care. And if anyone didn't figure out, Jon is Coffee and Code, who said cheers and thanks all in the chat there. Assembly code equals human representation of machine code. Yeah, that is actually a really good description. Assembly code is almost, it's human readable-ish machine code, basically. So, very cool stuff. Alright, so I want to mess with this stuff later. We got everything pushed up and connected here. I don't know if I mentioned it a little bit ago, but I think I did. For anyone that is wondering. Yes, Derplord, very ish sometimes. As I said earlier in the stream, DevChatter streams 4 times a week. I'm Brendan. Yep, this guy right here. You can find me on Twitter as @Brendonius, and if you use our schedule command for our bot, it will tell you our schedule in your time zone. You just got to tell it where you are, and it will respond back with that. Also, if you check down below the stream, you can usually find that kind of information. If this is on YouTube, hello YouTube people. For those of you that are wondering, because I did mention that this could be on YouTube, if you want to find the archives of any of our old videos here on the stream, see any other pair programming sessions, anything like that, the best way to do that is to check out our YouTube channel. If you want to see one of our recent videos, I recommend you take a look here in the videos section here on Twitch, and it will show you our recent videos that we have done. And yes, if you want to know our schedule in Redmond, it will tell you that. So you could also check our schedule in Bellevue or Seattle or Everett or anything like that, but I have a feeling it's going to be the same time. Oh, yes, Ancient Coder, thank you for the reminder. I'm not sure if I got the kata uploaded. That is a great question. But I will take a look for that one, Ancient Coder, and see where the Potter Books kata is. So Ancient Coder is referring to a kata we did maybe a couple of weeks ago. Maybe last week, I don't remember. It was sometime not that long ago. And I should upload the completed code onto our GitHub. So if you don't see it on there, I probably didn't upload it. So that's that one, that's that. So for those of you that don't know, all of our source code is pushed out onto GitHub, and I sometimes don't get it pushed up. Yeah, looks like I did not send it up. So I will push that one up, and you will be able to see it then. So sorry about that, Ancient Coder. I will get that there. Other things to mention. We will be streaming most likely on Thursday, but there is a chance that I will need to do it at a different time. So for now, assume that it will be at a regular time, and I will keep everybody posted if there are any changes. The best way to keep track of that is to be in our Discord, and if you don't know what Discord is a chat application, think Slack, but for Twitch streamers, gamers, that sort of thing. And it's actually a pretty good program. I recommend you take a look. The link there in chat will take you to our Discord. There are actually hundreds of developers in our Discord, and you can, talk about programming stuff. So it's actually kind of cool. Let's see. I think we can pass some love to lucky number 7 and send everybody over to lucky number 7. So sounds great, Co. By the way, stick around. We are going to raid lucky number 7, who is a developer that's probably doing Vue code. So we were just looking at React, but he's going to be doing Vue because that's what he does on Tuesdays. He is a developer that's a friend of ours. He's one of the mods in our channel here. You probably saw him. You would have seen him if you were here yesterday. Either way, I want to go ahead and roll some credits before we do that, because that's what we do. S&B, Stool Penner, thank you for helping to moderate the channel. We had a bunch of follows from these wonderful people, so thank you to everyone who followed today. Much appreciated. And I don't know if it's going to mention the host in here. I hope it does. Rising Phoenix and BG Ricky, thank you for the resubs, both of you. And I want to make sure that I mention Honest Dan Games, who definitely got us a nice raid earlier today. So thank you to Honest Dan, and we got a couple of other raids too that I should probably mention. Who raided us? Someone raided us today. I don't have the record of it right now, and I want to make sure that I actually mention them. So Honest Dan, Gareth Hubble raided us. That's the other person. There we go. Got it. Cool. So thanks to both of them for that. It was quite fun. Oh, and was that? No, that was yesterday's. Okay, cool. So, without further ado, I will take us to the outro screen and stick around and we'll raid lucky number 7.